Welcome back, everyone, to the Deep Dive. We're here to unpack those really complex personal dynamics, even the ones playing out in Port Charles, and, make them make sense.
Yeah, crystal clear sense, hopefully.
Today, we are definitely wading into some deep water.
Yeah.
It's what the sources are calling, one of the most intense, long-running, romantic messes, really. Jason Morgan's loyalty crisis.
The big one.
Specifically, how it pits Britt Westbourne against Carly Spencer. It's a classic showdown.
It really is, and we've gone through a ton of material on this. So the sources are pretty detailed about this ongoing tension, and it's like you said, it's not just a simple love triangle.
No, definitely.
It's this historical pattern, a pattern of prioritization that's basically put, an impossible burden on Jason ever having a normal romantic life. So this dive, it's about the structure of the problem, not just feelings.
Exactly. Structure, not just sentiment.
Yeah.
So our mission today, everyone, is super focused. We need to pull out the key insights about the core issue compromising Jason's entire romantic life. It's what the sources keep calling his undying loyalty to Carly.
That phrase comes up again and again.
It does. We have to explore the specific moments, the really painful ones, that set this pattern up. Why Britt is just so resistant, completely resistant, to getting back together. And crucially, what concrete actions Jason has to take to fix this. Properly fix it, once and for all, as the sources say.
Right. This needs more than just talk. It's about real behavioral change.
Definitely. And just to set the stage, where are we right now? Well, Britt and Jason, they're both back from the dead, which is, standard Port Charles stuff.
Yeah, just another Tuesday.
But the sources confirm the feelings are still there. They're strong. Undeniable, even. They had this connection, right?
Absolutely. A connection few couples could even dream of, honestly.
But, and it's a big, the reports are unanimous. Carly, she remains this major hurdle for them, like a huge wall they have to somehow get over.
And if Jason doesn't fundamentally change how he deals with Carly, how he relates to her, well, the past is just going to repeat. Again.
Okay, so let's unpack that. Let's start with that established pattern from the past. Britt's being cold and distant right now, and it's not out of nowhere. She's been burned badly.
Yeah.
Repeatedly.
Yeah, multiple times.
So we need to understand why she sees Jason as, fundamentally unreliable, why she thinks she'll always be playing second fiddle in his life.
It really boils down to decades of pretty clear behavior. For Britt, this isn't just some minor annoyance. The sources frame it as this foundational, structural flaw in Jason's character. It's what convinces her she will always be secondary.
Always second place.
Always. And our research, looking across all the sources, it gives us 3 really painful, high-stakes examples of this prioritization. These are the things that really cemented her distrust.
Okay, 3 key moments. Let's start with the one that kind of torpedoed their first real shot at romance. The abrupt abandonment.
Yeah.
The marriage of convenience.
Exactly. That's the perfect place to start. Years ago, the sources all agree, Britt and Jason were genuinely starting something real.
Yeah, I remember that. There was chemistry.
Yep.
Definitely. They were dating, building something. She was clearly, falling for him. And then, bam, Jason just slammed the brakes on, completely ditched Britt. Why? To marry Carly.
Okay, but here's where we need that nuance, right? Because the sources also say it wasn't just about Carly personally. It wasn't like a sudden romantic whim.
True. There's context. Major context.
Jason felt this huge strategic pressure. Sonny was presumed dead, remember? And that left this massive mob power vacuum in Port Charles.
Right. Total chaos looming.
So he married Carly, partly, maybe mostly, strategically, to protect the Corinthus organization, shield the whole family structure from, vultures circling. It was tactical. That context is absolutely vital for understanding Jason's motive. But here's the thing, and this is crucial for understanding Britt. It doesn't really matter to her why he did it. Jason's choice was rooted in protecting the business, yeah. But from Britt's perspective, the effect was simple. She got dropped. For Carly.
The end result was the same for her.
Precisely. The sources really stress this. Being set aside, being seen as disposable when Carly needed something, that's the wound. It's still fresh in her mind, even now.
So even if he had good reasons, organizationally speaking.
To Britt, it felt like betrayal. He made a calculated, painful choice, sure, but that action solidified the hierarchy in her eyes. Carly's safety, Carly's needs, they always trump his personal romantic life. Her anger is deep because he essentially chose his role, his job as enforcer and, temporary husband over their emotional connection.
Wow. Okay, so that first abandonment, it really set the precedent. But then things happen. They reconcile later. The feelings come back. and the pattern gets reinforced dramatically.
Oh, yeah. Dramatically is the right word.
With the second big example,
Mm.
the extreme sacrifice, him becoming an FBI informant.
This is where, his commitment to Carly just escalated. It went from sacrificing a relationship to, self-destruction.
How so?
Well, the pattern got slammed home again recently when Britt learned the whole story behind Jason's latest death. He became an FBI informant. He got involved in what the reports call dangerous and dirty FBI stuff. We're talking risking years in prison, risking his life.
Then why?
Specifically, explicitly, to shield Carly, to keep her out of legal trouble.
Okay, wait. Was Carly facing, life in prison? Was her actual life on the line this time? Or was it more about legal jeopardy, potential charges? Why do the sources call it such an extreme sacrifice?
That's a good question. Our analysis suggests that maybe her physical life wasn't in immediate danger, like mob hit danger, but her freedom, her whole world, the stability she relies on, that was definitely at risk.
So, major legal trouble, reputation, maybe prison time.
Exactly. And Jason didn't just, help her find a lawyer. He stepped in and took all of it. All the blame, all the danger onto himself. He basically chose a life on the run or in jail, which ultimately led to everyone thinking he was dead, just to keep Carly safe and comfortable back in Port Charles.
That really is extreme.
It was the ultimate confirmation for Britt. She saw this, and it was like a switch flip.
And a fallout was instant, wasn't it?
Oh, completely immediate. She saw this pattern repeating, but amplified. She just shut down, became instantly cold and distant, as the sources put it.
She looked at him and thought,
This is exactly what you did before, only a million times worse. She literally told him, go away. I want nothing to do with you.
don't really blame her.
No, the sources are unanimous here. Her reaction is seen as absolutely understandable because his behavior, it just demonstrates, again, that any risk to his romantic partner is basically acceptable collateral damage if it keeps Carly secure.
Okay, so first the marriage, then the FBI informant sacrifice. If those two weren't enough to etch this loyalty hierarchy in stone.
There's more.
The sources bring up the most extreme, maybe the most heartbreaking example of this pattern. Prioritizing Carly even over his own kids.
This one. Yeah, this is probably the foundational piece of evidence for Britt. The thing that should convince anyone, really, without a doubt, that Jason's loyalty to Carly is, almost pathological.
Oh, exactly, yeah.
The sources point out that Jason allowed his own son, Danny Morgan, to believe he was dead. Not for a few weeks or months. For 4 years.
4 years.
4 years.
Wow.
And the motivation, the staggering reason behind this, frankly, emotional cruelty, explicitly stated, to protect Carly.
Okay, let's just pause on that. 4 years. A child thinking their father is dead. We can't just skate past that. What does that do to a kid like Danny? And how does that act just completely redefine undying loyalty in Britt's eyes? It's not just about romance anymore.
No, it elevates the stakes way beyond a simple romantic choice. When a partner sacrifices a relationship for someone else, that's one kind of hurt. Painful, but maybe understandable in some contexts.
Right.
But when a parent sacrifices the emotional well-being, the fundamental security of his own child for his best friend, that's a profound statement about his character, about his priorities.
It changes everything.
Completely. Britt now knows, or believes she knows, that Jason's commitment to Carly operates on a level above his romantic relationships, and even above his basic parental duties.
Psychologically, letting Danny grieve him for 4 solid years. Yeah. It just shows that the need to shield Carly overrides maybe the most sacred bond there is, parent-child.
Yeah. The sources confirm this is why Britt knows Jason will always put Carly before anybody else, because he's demonstrated it, even at the expense of his own kids.
So summing up this first part then, for Britt, this loyalty isn't just like an annoying habit Jason has.
Not at all.
It's a foundational character flaw. It makes him inherently unreliable as a partner for her. The pain is too fresh, the evidence too strong.
Exactly, and that's why she refuses to admit, maybe even to herself sometimes, that she wants more than just friendship. Because she knows deep down, the moment things get serious again, she'll just end up back in second place.
Okay, that sets the stage perfectly for where we are now. If Britt is fundamentally unwilling to be second, and she's got the receipts, the historical proof to back that up, we need to look at how Carly actively keeps Jason in that compromised position.
Right. This isn't just about Jason's choices in the past. It's about Carly's ongoing actions and expectations now.
It's not just Jason's flaw, it's Carly's imposition, you could say.
That's a good way to put it. We're transitioning now from the pattern of abandonment to the current obstruction. Carly maintains these Frankly, unreasonable expectations. The sources even call it codependent. Expectations over Jason that basically make it impossible for him to have a real, meaningful love life with anyone else.
Okay, so what are these specific expectations, and how long has this been going on, this conditioning?
Well, the sources are very clear. Carly expects Jason's time, his focus, and attention be on her before anybody else. Period. And this isn't new. This expectation has been drilled into their dynamic for so many years.
Decades, really.
Decades. It's like this unwritten, maybe sometimes written, contract where Jason is her emotional safety net, her guarantor. He's just conditioned after all this time to jump when she has a crisis.
And the sources really hammer the hypocrisy here, don't they? Because Carly, right now, she's dating other people. Jack Brennan, most notably.
Oh, yeah. Big time hypocrisy.
She's totally free to pursue her own romance, find her own happiness, yet she keeps this possessive hold on Jason. How do the sources break down that dynamic? It sounds almost transactional.
It really does. She basically treats him like he's on retainer, permanently.
Yeah.
She assumes she can date Brennan, or whoever she wants, right?
Right.
And still keep Jason in her pocket as her ride-along.
Her ride-along.
Yeah, like the guy who will instantly drop everything and do what she wants no matter what.
So think about it. Carly gets the fun, the romance, the passion
Yeah.
somewhere else with Brennan.
Right. While still keeping Jason's absolute loyalty and protection locked down for whenever she needs it, for emergencies, or just, because it's the ultimate way to hedge your bets, emotionally speaking.
And that setup, that transactional dynamic, it's just fundamentally unfair to any woman Jason might actually want to build a life with. It puts this structural ceiling on his happiness.
Totally unfair. And the implication is severe. It's structural, like you said. This unreasonable expectation means Jason basically isn't going to have a love of his life. Why? Because no reasonable woman, and especially not Britt, who has the historical proof, will ever settle for being second place behind Carly.
It's just not a tenable position for a partner.
No. The sources state it plainly. Accepting that level of emotional compromise, being okay with always coming second to your partner's best friend, that's not something a strong, self-respecting woman like Britt should or likely ever would agree to again.
So Carly's maintaining this expectation. How is she acting towards Britt, the potential competition? Sources mentioned active conflict, some passive aggression, even straight-up trash talking.
Oh, it's already happening. The sources confirm they're already bickering. The tension is palpable, and it's about to get contentious. Carly is not sitting back passively here. She's actively asserting her dominance, her claim over Jason.
And there was a specific incident mentioned. Really illustrates her tactics.
Yes, a classic soap moment, really, but very telling. It happened at Bobby's Diner.
Ah, the famous towel incident. Okay, let's dissect the psychology of that one. What went down?
Right. So Britt had apparently gotten locked out of Jason's room, the one above the diner. She comes downstairs, understandably, wearing just a towel.
Okay, vulnerable position.
Very. Jason and Carly are talking. Jason has to leave the room for a second. And Carly. She immediately sees her chance. She uses that moment, Britt standing there in a towel, to deliver this perfectly aimed little psychological jab. She says to Britt, "Don't be late with the rent."
Oof. Wow. That is pure passive aggression, isn't it?
Textbook.
It's basically saying, you're just a tenant here. Temporary. Passing through. I, Carly, am the permanent fixture. The landlord. The one who really owns this space. Meaning Jason's life.
Exactly. It's a deliberate power play. An attempt to assert superior status, history, permanence. And she didn't stop there. She followed that up pretty quickly with a much more direct verbal confrontation.
Okay, so she went from passive-aggressive to just aggressive. What was her argument then?
Yeah, she basically started actively trash-talking Britt to Britt, emphasizing the amazing history between her and Jason, which, let's be real, is a history built on mob duty, sacrifice, and codependency as much as friendship.
Right, not exactly a fairy tale romance history.
Not remotely. And then Carly lays down her trump card, or what she thinks is her trump card. She states definitively that the trust between Carly and Jason is unbreakable.
Unbreakable trust.
And then twists the knife by telling Britt that she will never have that with him. She's weaponizing their shared past, their supposed unbreakable bond, to try and scare Britt off, to maintain control over Jason's future.
Okay, but here is where the analysis gets really, really interesting. Because Carly's boasting about unbreakable trust.
Right. Laying it on thick.
And the sources tell us Britt found this kind of funny. Internally, at least.
Yes, amused. Because Britt is sitting on a secret. A massive, current, highly sensitive secret that proves Carly's whole unbreakable trust boast is completely hollow. already broken.
This is the leverage piece. What's the secret?
Jason is actively keeping something huge from Carly, something with real-world, high-stakes consequences. Her daughter, Jocelyn Jax, is a WSB agent.
Yeah, okay. So Carly's running around town, maybe even telling Britt directly, our trust is unbreakable, using that as her main weapon.
Her shield and her sword.
While Jason is actively deceiving her about her own daughter's incredibly dangerous life-or-death career choice, the contradiction is just staggering.
It completely blows her argument out of the water. The sources confirm this supposed unbreakable trust has actually already been broken, and not over something trivial, over the safety and actions of Carly's own child.
That's huge.
It is. And what's really fascinating here is Britt's position. She knows this. She holds this card. But to her credit, the sources say she hasn't dropped the Jocelyn bombshell yet.
She could, though.
Oh, absolutely. She could deploy that information at any moment and just shatter Carly's entire narrative of having this superior, unbreakable bond with Jason.
So this secret, it's not just leverage for Britt, is it? It actually reframes Jason's relationship with both women right now.
That's a key insight. Think about it. He's protecting Britt in a way by sharing or letting her know the secret about Jocelyn, maybe seeing her as a confidant he can trust with sensitive info, while he's actively deceiving Carly, arguably to protect Jocelyn and the WSB's operations, but still, it's deception.
It shows the trust isn't flowing the way Carly thinks it is.
Exactly. It highlights the flaw not just in Carly's perception, but also demonstrates that Jason is capable right now of prioritizing something or someone else over Carly's need to know, over her feelings. Even if that something else is WSB secrecy. Britt's watching this. She sees he has changed enough to keep a massive secret with her, or at least from Carly, while Carly remains totally oblivious, bragging about trust.
Okay, so we've got this deep history of pain for Britt. We've got the current situation where Carly demands she accepts second place. And now we have this volatile secret hanging over everything, proving the whole foundation Carly relies on is already cracked.
It's a powder keg.
We desperately need something to force Jason to break the cycle, right? A catalyst. And sadly, the sources confirm that catalyst is coming in the form of tragedy. Monica Quartermain's death.
Yeah. The passing of Jason's mother, Monica. The sources frame this as the crucial potential turning point, the event that will finally, maybe, force Jason's hand. Grief has a way of cutting through the noise,
Big.
clarifying priorities. And this event, it requires him to demonstrate physically, publicly his commitment. Is he going to establish boundaries? Is he going to define his own future? Or fall back into the old pattern?
And Jason is, as anyone would be, absolutely devastated. He's the one who found Monica, who had to report her death. That's incredibly traumatic.
Horrific for him. And in that immediate aftermath, the sources expect both Carly and Britt to be there for him, to offer comfort. But they'll be coming from very different places in his life, obviously.
How is Britt expected to react, given everything we've just discussed? The anger, the history.
Well, despite all that profound anger, those historical grievances, the sources believe Britt will put it all aside in that moment. Why? Because deep down, she actually loves Jason.
The feelings are still there under the surface.
They are, and she'll recognize the depth of his grief, losing his mother. She'll be genuinely sympathetic. That shared moment of just raw human connection, of grief, it's expected to briefly override the conflict between them. So both women will naturally be there at the funeral, the memorial service.
But that shared grief space, that's not the real test, is it? The decisive action, the moment that forces Jason to draw that public line we keep talking about. It comes down to the service itself, the test of the +1.
Bingo. That's the crux of it. This choice, it seems small, maybe, but it carries immense symbolic weight. The crucial question the sources pose is, which woman will Jason choose as his +1 for Monica's funeral or memorial?
Because of the public declaration.
Exactly. A memorial, a funeral. It's a formal public setting. Allegiances, relationships, they're on display whether you want them to be or not. And this choice, it's binary. He can't take both as his primary support in that context. It forces Jason to draw a line publicly, to define who his primary emotional partner is now.
And the sources suggest he might actually choose Britt.
They do. They suggest he may actually shock the heck out of Carly and choose Britt.
Okay, but why? Why would the sources speculate that, given his entire lifetime of defaulting to Carly? What's changed enough to make that a real possibility?
Well, the thinking is that the sheer emotional weight of Monica's death acts as this ultimate, unavoidable reminder. Life's short. There's no time to waste.
Mortality staring him in the face.
Right. He might finally realize that prioritizing Carly's comfort or avoiding Carly's tantrum during his time of grief. Instead of prioritizing his own desire for a genuine romantic future with Britt, is a cycle he has to break now, or he'll be trapped in it forever. Choosing Britt would be this definitive signal, a public statement that he's prioritizing his future happiness over Carly's historical expectations.
And that he does make that choice. If he picks Britt as his plus one,
Yeah.
what's the expected fallout from Carly? The sources were pretty blunt about that.
Oh, yeah, Blunt is right. They are definitely not predicting quiet acceptance or mature reflection from Carly. If Jason chooses Britt, Carly will be salty about it.
Salty. Love that.
Yeah. And she will likely throw a tantrum, not necessarily because she wants Jason back romantically herself, right? That's key.
It's not about losing him romantically.
Probably not. It's about losing her status, her unchallenged position as the priority in his life being publicly revoked. Her reaction will be rooted in that loss of power, that loss of control over Jason, not necessarily the loss of the man himself.
This whole event, Monica's passing, it forces the issue, forces the recognition that Jason is, at the end of the day, entitled to decide who's the priority in his own life.
Absolutely. He's a grown man.
And Monica's death, reminding him life is fleeting, it just serves as this sharp, unavoidable wake-up call. He needs to stop letting Carly dictate his future happiness. Stop reacting to her needs above his own.
He has to be the architect of his own life now.
Yeah.
And if he wants something real with Britt, that codependency with Carly, it just has to end. The bottom line, emphasized again and again in our research, Jason must stop catering to Carly's every whim. He has to set real enforceable boundaries, because if he doesn't, Britt isn't going to put up with it. Not again.
She's done with that cycle.
Completely done. This dynamic has been going on way too long, and it's already cost him and her years of potential happiness.
Now, it's important here to clarify what Britt is actually asking for, because the sources describe her demands as very reasonable. We should probably elaborate on why they're seen that way, especially for a guy like Jason with kids and complicated family ties.
That is a really crucial distinction to make. Britt is very reasonable. She's not expecting Jason to put her ahead of his kids. Not Danny, not Jake. That's never been the issue.
Okay, so kids are separate.
Right. Distinguishing between your romantic partner and your children is like boundary setting 101. Healthy. Standard. The conflict here arises because Jason has historically been forced, or allowed himself, to choose between his romantic partner and his best friend Carly.
Not his kids, his best friend.
Exactly. Britt is only demanding that Jason place her ahead of Carly, not ahead of his children. This shows the conflict isn't about family duty versus romance. It's purely about Jason's romantic happiness being consistently stifled by his non-romantic commitment to Carly, who isn't even family.
That makes sense. It clarifies the stakes. And thankfully, maybe hopefully, we're already seeing some small signs that Jason might be ready to start making this shift,
Yeah.
even before the funeral forces his hand.
We are seeing glimmers, tiny steps maybe, but steps towards undoing decades of that conditioning. The sources highlighted one specific recent instance. Remember when Jason kicked Carly out of Anna Devane's office so he could talk privately?
Oh, yeah. That felt significant at the time.
It was, because Carly was apparently displaying passive aggression about it. She was hovering, trying to maintain her usual position of priority, expecting access to everything Jason does.
But he didn't let her.
He didn't buckle. He stood his ground. He directly told a clearly annoyed, "Pouty, Carly, no, please go. I need to talk to Anna." Simple words, but huge meaning.
He set a clear, actionable boundary in a relatively low-stakes situation, but still.
Exactly. That act, while small on the surface, signals a potentially massive internal shift. He prioritized an external meeting and need for privacy over catering to Carly's ingrained need for constant access and involvement. She left sulking, apparently.
Sulking.
And the sources are pretty optimistic, suggesting she may be doing more sulking soon, because Jason is expected, or at least hoped, to do more of this setting boundaries and pushing her back. Yeah. These small acts are like practice runs, necessary practice before the big public declaration that might come at the funeral.
Okay, so wrapping this section up, the final solution for Jason's loyalty crisis, it's all action-based. It has to happen now. His reconciliation with Britt hinges entirely on him proving it, not just saying it, proving he can and will put her first in front of Carly.
It requires that public declaration, like the potential +1 choice at Monica's service. And then, just as importantly, it requires consistent, ongoing, enforceable boundary setting with Carly afterward. He has to take that lifetime of undying loyalty and fundamentally transform it. It needs to become a supportive, but managed, maybe even difficult, besties relationship with boundaries in place.
Okay, so after digging through all of this, What does this entire messy, high-stakes drama mean for you, the listener, watching this unfold in Port Charles?
Well, I think the core takeaway, the distillation of all this, is that the Jason-Carly dynamic, it isn't just some harmless separate friendship running alongside his romantic life. For years, it has functioned as this emotional controlling force, one that consistently compromises his chance at real romantic fulfillment.
It forces the issue of second place.
Exactly. Any woman he chooses is automatically structurally forced into that second place role. And that's why Britt, because she's been burned the absolute worst by this pattern, is the only one demanding this level of fundamental structural change from him. She won't accept crumbs again.
And the timing now is critical. That combination of the huge secret, the Jocelyn bombshell, proving the unbreakable trust is a myth, and the unavoidable emotional weight of Monica's death. It's forcing a choice, a necessary, immediate choice that Jason just can't dodge anymore.
The clock is absolutely ticking on his future happiness. He must transform his relationship with Carly, move it away from this unchallenged, sacrificial loyalty where he gives up everything, even horrifically his relationship with his son for years, and turn it into something healthier. A supportive best friends relationship, yes, but one that has clear, enforceable, consistent boundaries.
And if he can't,
Or won't.
then he'll remain Jason Morgan, a man of immense loyalty, sure, but probably one who will never actually have a true love of his life because he can't make the space for one.
Which brings us perfectly to our final provocative thought for you to mull over. We've spent this whole deep dive detailing how Jason has sacrificed literally everything, his relationships, his freedom, even that precious bond with his son for Carly, over decades.
A lifetime of conditioning. Exactly. So the question is, can a lifetime of that extreme emotional behavioral conditioning truly be undone by one high-stakes decision, like choosing Britt as his +1 for a funeral? Or is that deeply ingrained expectation the one where he will drop everything for Carly, no matter the cost, just too fundamental to his character?
Yeah.
Is it so baked in that any boundary he tries to set is ultimately doomed to fail, guaranteeing that Britt, even if they reconcile now, will always eventually be disappointed again?
Yeah. Can he really change that core programming? That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's something for you to definitely ponder as this very difficult path unfolds for Jason, Britt, and Carly.